afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Shad Talks Graps, and we are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast. It's been crazy in the WWE, man. It's been crazy here at WR. There's a lot going on with this whole final boss and John Cena situation, but we're going to take a little break from the convo of that today because we are going to talk about what happened last night on Monday Night Raw because, hey, man, I don't know if Triple H misses Mr. Shane Strickland a lot, but he's giving us a lot of swerves because that main event was crazy. But I can't talk this without my panel, my boys. The crew is back for another week. First and foremost, let's go with the dog. Chaos. How you doing, bro?
What's good? What's good, everybody? Yes, happy Tuesday. The gang is back. We're here to talk about Monday Night Raw. Awesome episode, especially after with the fallout of the most talked about ending in WWE history, and that is they made sure if you didn't know about it, they made sure you knew about it. So yeah, I'm here to talk about that as well as obviously what's been happening on Monday Night Raw. Great episode, and I can't wait to chop it up with y'all. So let's get straight to it.
No doubt, man. And yeah, forgot the first topic is kind of crazy. We got a lot going on, man, but we got someone new in the building today. After a series of events this past weekend, a man named Jordy In The Bank is no longer part of the Wrestling Republic team. We have a new gentleman who's taking his spot. His name is Jordan in the financial establishment, and he looks a little mad right here.
Yeah. So it's the first daily I've been on since obviously what happened at the weekend, and everyone knows I'm a John Cena fan, so I'll just clear a few things up. I'm still a John Cena fan. I don't see something necessarily wrong with what he did. I think it's all in the pursuit of what is best for business. Cody is collateral damage in this situation. It literally could have been anybody. Like people are going to get all like in the feelings, all it's personal about Cody. It literally could have been anybody. It's nothing to do with Cody. It's about John Cena winning number 17. People just need to get over it and move on. He's going to win it when it happens. I don't know. Whoever gets in his way is getting ran down. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. We are talking about Monday Night Raw. And there is another swerve, which we'll discuss.
Yeah,
Almost passive aggressive right now, man. Goddamn.
I know, man. I don't even want to mute him, bro. He's like gonna snap on me. I don't know. Heel turns are going crazy nowadays in pro wrestling, so we gotta watch our back. First and foremost, I make Beats taking a shot at me. He calling me a bald fraud. What's up with that, bro? I'm just messing around. He's talking about what our first topic is, man, and it was CM Punk in vintage CM Punk manner, cutting one of the most fiery promos that you can believe, shooting at everybody, shooting at everyone he has beef with, going at The Rock, going at John Cena, but most importantly, going at someone who kind of effed him over at the Elimination Chamber, Seth freaking Rollins, taking a shot at Miss Becky Lynch. Got a little messy on Twitter, posts with Becky Lynch. You know, they're really giving us a lot of realism into this because Steph comes out and they are brawling on site. You got a million security guards in the place. They're doing it by the announcement table. They're fighting around the ring, up the entranceway, backstage. It's all out chaos. Word to you, bro. Between these two guys, and man, I love everything about it. I think CM Punk is just one of the best ever when it comes to cutting live promos. Like he doesn't hold anything back when he does that. But just the element of these two dudes, really, from what happened last year, or 2 years ago at when Punk came back, right? At wow, why am I blanking on the name
Survivor
of it?
Series.
War Games, yeah, Survivor Series War Games. From that moment where Seth was kind of cursing them out to where we are now, this is one of the best feuds I've seen in the WWE in the last few years. So kudos to these guys. They got a big time, hardcore match. Steel cage match next week on Monday Night Raw. Will this be the last one? Will Roman Reigns pop out? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. But I do want to know y'all's thoughts on Phil Brooks cutting a promo and everything tied to him and Seth. Chaos, the floor is yours, man.
Well, we all know that Jordy is the biggest John Cena guy, but I feel like I am one of the biggest CM Punk guys. He just killed it, man. Did not hold back from as soon as you see him driving like 90 miles an hour into the arena and just walked out and then just said whatever was on his mind, man. And like I said, he is one of the best on the mic, to the point where, and he doesn't unlike The Rock, he doesn't seem to be just spinning the wheels and repeating himself again and again. It was that confident that he asked the crowd, like, who should I pick? Who should I roast next? You know what I mean? And then ultimately it took I think it was Pat McAfee's choice, and then just went nuts on The Rock, calling him, bald fraud. And then ultimately he merged him and John Cena together and calling them both bold frauds, which is a bit unfortunate for Cena. I mean, he's on the precipice of it, but he's not there yet. But yeah, man, it was a great promo. Is it pipe bomb level? No, not necessarily, but he can handle his own. We never questioned that, even during his time in AEW. I feel like that's one of his best work. His time in AEW with MJF. I feel like that's one of his best promo work. I don't think he's really touched that kind of level yet. But yeah, obviously, ultimately went down to regarding the brawl. I was really surprised that Seth even had the balls to come out. But yeah, it didn't hold back, and they just brawled everywhere, and it was great. I was kind of wishing they would kind of start a bit, effing and blinding a bit more and whatnot. But yeah, no, it was great. And yeah, like I said, it's leading up to the steel cage match. I don't think that's going to go clean. I feel like definitely Roman Reigns is going to somehow either interject himself during it or maybe at the end, because yeah, he wants to get his revenge, especially on Seth. So Seth is screwed. He's got two people mad at him, and obviously, yeah, they're going to ultimately just figure it out at Mania. This is one of the biggest feuds that I'm looking forward to. This one, as well as Rock and Cena, the Rock and Cena and Cody situation. Everything else is surplus to me. But yeah, I can't wait, man. It was just a great way to start Monday Night Raw.
And you know what I think, honestly? I think with Seth, they need to let him go full heel, because he's not gonna get over CM Punk. CM Punk chants are gonna always flood the volumes every time he comes out there. It's time for him to go full heel. He's not gonna be more over than Punk. He's not gonna be over than Roman Reigns. You can't have three tweeners going against each other into this. I guess you technically can, because they all hate each other, but I feel like the element of one complete bad guy, which Seth truthfully should be. He effed over both of these guys in their opportunity to get a title. Like, I feel like he needs to go full heel. It's best for him. It'd be good for the WWE too, man. I think Seth is one of the better heels when he gets into that bag.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go through a couple comments, because Fernando thinks this is a pipe bomb level promo. I don't think it is either.
No.
It was a very strong promo, and probably one of his better ones since he's returned to the WWE. And I like what you said, kind of free range and like, give me a person and I'm gonna shoot at them type of situation. I thought it was fun, interactive and all that. And yeah, man, like, I think the best part, like you said, was the going at The Rock, with everything fresh of that right now. And just knowing Punk's history with Dwayne, with Cena, how much he hates those guys, whether it be in real life or within character aspect. And then we get to the page of his new arch nemesis. I thought it was really good. We also got a comment from Numero One Superfly saying this was an excellent promo by Punk. I Make Beats also said this is the best Punk promo since I'll See You in Hell in the Cell, once where the cam went all out, focus on the end. That was a classic one too, for sure. And he also says Triple H has been saying for a minute WWE is on fire. Right now, it's actually true. they don't miss when it's Mania season. Like they can take off the entire calendar year prior to Mania season. By the time the calendar hits towards Mania season, they got all the correct chefs in the kitchen. They got all the good seasoning, all the gourmet, ingredients that you need, wagyu, all of that, man. They definitely come to cook. Speaking of cooking, Jordy, I know you are a chef. And I know that you are now a fan of a guy who's aligned with what The Rock is cooking. But what are your thoughts on last night's segment, obviously, between Punk calling out your mans?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. I liked what he said about The Rock. I thought that was priceless. Like, because you know what? Like, like I said, I'm aligning with Cena. My feelings towards Dwayne are still 50-50 at this point. Till he stops coming back, like Punk said, and just doing this, then I'm not convinced that the Rocky is really the Rock rather than just being Dwayne Johnson. And I loved that. Like, I genuinely, all the frustrations that I'd had with kind of the standard of the Rock's promos and stuff since he'd come back a couple of weeks ago, Punk aired them for me on live TV better than I could. And so that was great to see. Not a fan of what he said about John, but I do understand his frustrations because there was a couple of nice moments in the chamber. They actually told each other they missed each other before that big face-off. John said, "I miss you," and Punk said, "I miss you too." And I think Punk had kind of bygones be bygones, water under the bridge. It's all in the past. So for this to happen, for him to see Cena finally be the person that Punk had alluded him to be all these years, and Bray Wyatt had alluded him to be all these years as well. I understand the frustrations, so fair enough. He can say what he wants, but no, the segment itself, it was iconic. He came out and said, "Let's start with a bang," and it was exactly that. Like, it was 1:00 in the morning for me watching that, but I was wide awake when he was cutting that promo. I was not blinking. I was hanging on his every word, like you say. Punk is the best at that, I think, or certainly one of. And in comparison to the pipe bomb felt more of a calculated. He felt a bit calmer in a sense. This was almost like his frustration had just boiled. It just hit boiling point, and he just needed to yell down a microphone. And that can sometimes be messy when it's not the right person doing it. But Punk always does it in a clean way, but still gets the aggression across. So I thought that was great. I don't know what happens from here. Does Seth win in the cage? So it's 1-1 between them two, and then they set up a final for Mania. Does Roman get involved? If Roman gets involved, like I said, I want to see full Kane pull the steel cage off the wall. I want to see him full on like go for Seth. But I'm excited, and once again, don't really know the direction that we're going, but in a very good way.
Yeah, I want Roman to come out like that too. It's damn near needed because that's the triple threat that can really potentially rival another triple threat that we'll talk about. That'd be a main event for WrestleMania for the night one. Obviously, night two, I feel like it's locked and loaded. Cena, Cody, but if it's an element of us getting a Seth, Punk, Roman, that's a pretty damn big matchup with three guys who all hate each other. You tied everything with Punk's favorite, Heyman, all of that. That's box office to say the very least. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm excited for next week. They're at the Garden with it, right? So they're doing back-to-back nights at the Garden. The smaller aspect is on NXT Roadblock, but they're at MSG with it on Raw on Netflix. And it seems like Raw and Netflix has taken such a importance with like how they position these shows. Like it's been so good since they've got here. So kudos to them, man. The good folk at Netflix say we can't only have Love Is Blind, we got to have some other stuff.
Stranger Things is ending this year. We need something else.
Yeah, exactly. Them kids are old now, man. They're not even little kids no more. They're like adults.
Exactly.
So, let's get to the next topic because Gunther is having a little side feud Jay Uso is having a little side feud leading into what's going on in Mania. And it's still intertwined and correlates with each other. They just got little pesky roadblocks on the way. And he had his match last week with Akira Tozawa. It was a short sprint. Tonight, the big homie of the Alpha Academy, Big Dog, Otis, took the ring with him. And I thought they had a pretty fun match. I thought Gunther's promo going into it was absolutely crazy. Gunther calling him saying that I have this belt and you can barely find a belt that fits you. Typical former fat guy becoming skinny and making fun of fat people post after that, huh? What's up, Gunther? You wasn't too far off the scale from Otis that long ago, but I thought it was a solid match. Jay comes out, kind of goes within the save. It's kind of more or less the same thing every week as we lead into it. I would like to see more, blossom within it. I thought Jay does a good job cutting promos backstage, talking about he feels a lot of self-doubt going into it, and Gunther's getting into his head. I think they can show it a little bit better, but all in all, thought it was solid. Chaos. What are your thoughts? Did you like everything tied to this, or was this just another day in the office for Gunther?
I think it's a mix of both. I mean, it was a good showing. They Otis always puts in a good entertaining work, and it's definitely the right dance partner for Gunther to have a match with. Yeah, it was a good showing. Obviously, more impressive, and he lasted longer than Tozawa did. Obviously, he's a big powerhouse and whatnot, and yeah, the crowd was enjoying every second of it. So yeah, I have no problems with it. Obviously, they're all passing the time to give Gunther something until Mania because it's quite a few weeks away. But yeah, I didn't really have an issue with it. And yeah, it was just pretty much run of the mill regarding Jay just coming in and just throw a couple hands against Gunther and then get a couple. It's definitely a big mesh of the main event with the mid carders because obviously Jay was doing the Yeet thing and then us A-Town Down Under came in and started just getting on onto Jay. But yeah, it was fine for what it was. I don't really have much to say. All I can say was that it was entertaining. It wasn't over the top. Otis doing his his usual stick, which is usually pretty entertaining from if I'm honest. And yeah, Gunther just being Gunther, and yeah, just still showing his dominance and not being like that cowardly heel. So yeah, either way, and obviously the passionate promo at the end from Jay saying like, yeah, he's gonna crash out, which I know he is. And then yeah, it was to the point where he was so mad that he walked out the arena in the blitz cold with no shirt. So so that happened. But yeah, no, I'm here for it. Great showing for Gunther. And yeah, I can't wait to see Jey Uso as champion at Mania.
Yeah, I do think we are still gonna get to that. And yeah, him walking out, no shirt into the cold, and they was in Buffalo. It's cold in Buffalo, bro. Like they definitely in two cold cities in a row with it. Obviously, Toronto the night before, and then Buffalo. It ain't a warm place, so it's gonna be interesting as we continue that. And then yeah, I mean the Alpha Academy. It's solid, I guess. I don't know what's up with Maxine Dupree. Does she not wrestle no more? Is she completely just a manager?
I don't know, but something's happening.
She was talking to Natty.
You see the thing with Natty, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because I was literally off script for a quick second from the show. I was talking about there's two things that happen with Natty, and they're not WWE related. She is gonna be at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport that Vegas weekend, right? And her name was different. So I was like, is Natty still part of WWE? Because it said Natty Neidhart instead of Natalya. Then she pops up on our screen. Natalya is also going to be part of the Crockett Cup on NWA that got announced today. So those are like two non-WWE ventures that she's going to be doing. NWA one is crazy to me because I ain't never seen WWE and NWA like do stuff for a long time, right? So that's interesting to see what goes on with Natty. But yeah, maybe she's gonna coach up Maxine and get her in a dungeon, and Maxine becomes a real worker. we'll have to
I
see.
think there's potential.
But
I just think with the standard that the women's division have now, it's hard to justify being like, yeah, you can learn on screen. It's like, nah, you're gonna have to go and train because there's so many in the wings.
Maxine is a person that should have been alive at a different era of
Yeah, I know what
WWE
you
for
mean.
women's wrestlers, right? She's she's like the diva era type of wrestler, man. Like a lot of like the Michelle McCool, like the Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson build.
That's who she
Man,
wants to be as well. Like she'll openly say that, like that's who she looked up to, and she thinks that like she wants to put some respect on the diva name, kind of thing.
yeah, but the thing is this though, like Michelle McCool could work. Like she's not like she was a pretty solid worker. I feel like Maxine is better than what she initially was, but like the thing with her is like she's got a good presence on TV. She's charismatic. She talks well. I don't think she's bad at her role. It's just I don't know. I guess it's just finding a place for it and whatnot. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I do want to talk about some good friends before we get to the last couple of topics. First and foremost, let's talk about the Etsy app. If you go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending what phone you have, you can download the Etsy app. Go to upcoming stream section. It is a very fun app, man. It reminds me of a lot of what we have within a community where we go back and forth, a lot of discourse in it, and you can actually join live streams with us. Talk to us. Tell us why we are right. Tell us why we are wrong. It's a great space, man. A lot of dope other wrestling content creators are part of it. Download it now if you don't have it. And of course, don't forget, if you love professional wrestling, man, if you love wrestling across the pond, they don't do it better than Progress. And they got a sweet deal for you. Use the code WATCHPROGRESS1 and you get half off the first month on demand Progress Plus. This is the home of Progress, Defy, and much more. Extensive library. A lot of people that we've been talking about was on there. Gunther, Pete Dunne. Man, it's a great place. So definitely tune in with them, tap in with them, tap in with us, most importantly. Let's get to the next topic because speaking of the Alpha Academy, we got to talk about American Made, which broke out of them. And American Made came out with 2 L's last night. Obviously, Ivy Nile took a loss to Lyra Valkyria for the women's IC title in a good bout. The Creed brothers had a banger match with the War Raiders, took an L to them. There's just not a lot of synergy happen. And that synergy ties to where Master Gable is. Well, I think we got a bit of an answer. Master Gable looking like a narc, looking like an undercover cop, handing $500 to a gentleman for a special box. Now, what's in this box? I don't know. Who he was talking to, I thought it was Master Roshi for a second. What is this leading to? Because Gable's haunted by the ghost of Lucha Libre wrestling. Jordy, I know you are a big Lucha Libre fan, and you're also a Master Gable fan. Do you have an answer to what is in this box?
Yeah, I think it could be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shell and sword. No, I'm joking. I think it's got to be a mask, right? It's got to be a mask. Surely it has to be a mask. Like I'm excited for whatever it is because you're absolutely right. I'm a Gable. I'm a huge Gable fan. In fact, I think he's one of the best kind of in-ring all-round athletes in the WWE at the minute. But this kind of American-made thing has fallen flatter than it should have. Aesthetically, you look at Ivy Nile, the Creed, Gable all together. It all works. They all work. I genuinely kind of do put this down to booking, because I think book these guys right, and you kind of have a really solid stable there. But unfortunately, until now, it's not really been the case. Hopefully, this is the change. But like, this is what's confusing for me. So, like, Gable comes back. Like, what's in the box? Is it a book? Perhaps. Like, it can't be another number. It can't be a contact for someone else. So it has to be like a physical object. Could it be boots? The box seems a little bit small to be boots. it has to be a mask, right? That's literally the only thing that I can think it is. Now, if Gable's going to come back as a luchador, I think he's got the ability to do it in terms of the in-ring ability. I'm sure he'll have to do some training and stuff, but he has got that ability. But then what does that mean for American Made? That's because it muddies the water a little bit. So I'm a little bit confused. Excited for Gable, for Chad Gable himself, but for American Made, I'm a little bit like red flag. I don't, where are we going? Obviously, I hope that they get their hands on gold by the time he's back, because otherwise he's not going to be happy, and they might be dealing with a masked Gable. So
him having a mask sounds like what it could be.
How do you make him not look like El Generico or something? You know what I mean?
What did they do with Chad Gable, guys? What the hell did they do with Chad Gable, guys?
They shouldn't have given Sammy that chance.
Exactly. And I love Sami Zayn. That is my guy. But him not being as out of a babyface he was to finally beat Gunther and all that story tied to it completely derailed all momentum he had. And man, we even talked about it. And I got in an argument with somebody on X yesterday about it too, man. Salute to the homie Drew from Pick a Side Podcast, Good Sports Podcast. They tap into the wrestling stuff. And he was like, yo, you're sleeping on American Made. I said, I ain't sleeping on nothing. They're losers. And that's no disrespect to them. The fools lose so much. They get fed to be jobbers practically at this point. Where am I supposed to take any of them serious at this point, right? Like, and it starts from Gable not beating Gunther, kind of being thrown to the side, right? And obviously, he came back to WWE. He re-signed. He's not doing nothing bad, but then they got smoked by the Wyatts. The Creed brothers can't beat the Viking Experience. Ivy can't beat Lyra. Like, there's just a lot of, like, something's gonna have to give. Then Penta beats Chad Gable, and like now, if it's a mask, then that's comedy aspect, man. And like they're playing him to the Kurt Angle funny stuff to the nose a little too much for my liking. You know, you gotta let bro kind of be his own guy in a sense too. I mean, you know.
They've even Kurt angled the theme song a little bit, which, like, having the "You Suck" thing's awesome, but you can't manufacture that, and they very much have into the song. And it's like that kind of killed it straight away, because there was a moment when he turned heel, Chad Gable, and he was stood in the ring and he was smiling, and everyone was chanting "You suck" at him, and it was like, oh my god, we've created a monster. And then, just from that point, it's just fallen, just so kind of. What are we doing with them? Like you said, they lose to the Wyatt Six, then they lose again, then they lose again, and I'm like, well, what's in this box? Like,
I mean,
why does it cost so much?
We got the boy Sean Ellis saying Chad Gable buys a $500 box of crap in order to become a luchador. It's stupid. I don't disagree with that, bro. If it's a lucha mask, I'm highly gonna be, because what I was thinking was this, man. I thought this would have been a good way to pivot to, you know, Ray Phoenix, maybe Ray Phoenix is the one to teach him how to beat Penta, because that's his brother, and we lead to a Ray Phoenix and Penta feud initially. Malachi as well, but
he's got dark arts.
But then you got
the dark arts school, so that makes a bit more sense.
But then you got the other thing too. Like Dom keep referencing who to add a new member to Judgment Day. So like, who's he talking about, right? Like, there's a lot of like, and we know obviously Ray Phoenix and Malachi, Aleister Black are not signed to WWE. So these are just speculations. We're assuming stuff. He says Shorty G storyline was Gable's downfall. I don't agree with that, because he picked it back up last year when they was doing the Gunther stuff. Like, they really let him kind of
that stuff was. He beat Gunther as well. He beat Gunther. He counted him out, and it was just. Well, I love Sammy as well, but I still think, and it was an awesome moment. They did the whole Rocky thing. You can't beat him, you can. But it was Gable's moment.
The Rocky thing should have been for Gable, bro.
Yeah,
Sammy didn't need the IC belt at all. Like, it's a mess.
I remember saying it at the time, and you tried to tell me that I hated Sammy because I said it. It wasn't true.
Sammy Zayn's my dog, and I was happy he won it because I'm selfish like that. But I didn't disagree with that standpoint where it is like, all right. And then I don't know where this is coming from. But he says Cora Jade is this era Saraya and Paige. Cora Jade is way more talented than that woman. Don't talk about that scrub on my show. Saraya, Paige, Basura. I know y'all might not like it because she's from around y'all way, but
we don't all know each other, Shad, just because we're English, you know.
Not y'all would, man. It's not that big of a country, is it?
Yeah, no, it's really isn't that
big. Oh man, let's get to the main event because shock of the world, man. Shock of the world. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. It went down. Obviously, I spoke about it a couple weeks ago where I thought this match should have happened at Elimination Chamber. I'm a man of my word. You know what? I'm gonna say sorry real quick. I am sorry. I underestimated your game, Triple H. This was the right decision because they sent us a shockwave last night. Io is our new women's world champion, beating Rhea Ripley, and we are possibly pivoting to a potential triple threat match. Seeing how the ending happened, Bianca being there, a lot of controversy at the ending. I'm sure Jordy's going to want to talk about that. But Io, Rhea, Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, that is the big three. That is the three women that run the WWE women's division. Those are the three best women on the WWE roster at the moment. And it made me think that is similar to the Four Horsewomen. And the Four Horsewomen never had their fatal four-way at a Mania before. But we might get this big three to have a triple threat at Mania. And I'm here to say it, man. I thought about it last night. I think Io, Bianca, and Rhea are better as a big three than Bayley, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte Flair. I think they are a more potent, big-time unit when you're talking about characters, talk about moments, you're talking about in-ring ability, all of it together. Those three may be better than the Four Horsewomen when time tells and we are all said and done. And I know that's a tough one to grasp, y'all. But Hunter's three women from NXT, I think they might clear the Horsewomen when it's all said and done. But that's neither here or there. I want to know what y'all thought about the main event and the decision of Io beating Rhea Ripley. Obviously, Jessica Carr has kind of been on the, VAR thing that the Allison said. And you know what, Jordy? I'm going to kick it off to you first, man. Because I know you are kind of angry this morning about Jessica Carr.
Listen, because I don't want Jessica Carr to get any hate. So, I understand, people make mistakes from time to time. It's a heated situation. But somebody should have got involved there. What happened, there's a blatant, go and watch the video that Ben uploaded as well, in terms of the video-assisted referee, and he studies it. The points made are nonsense. He said that, Bianca fell over, so that's reasonable offense, and Rhea didn't fall over. Rhea had a ring behind her. She fell back into the ring, but she didn't fall over because there was a ring there. I think what should have happened at that point, there was clearly disruption. Jessica Carr should have sent Bianca to backstage. She maybe not called the match, maybe not called a disqualification, but there's clearly a distraction there, something that can continue to happen. It's escalated a little bit already after simmering down. The classic, send her to the back. That's what should have happened, because what happened after that, Rhea's having to look over her shoulder to make sure Bianca's not going to push her again or do something to, I don't know, throw a chair at her. And then, takes her eye off the ball. Io hits her with it and becomes champion. And again, it's no hard feelings towards Io. Huge Io fan. She deserves everything she gets and more. But there's some dodgy officiating and some biased opinions as well from our El Jefe, Ben Allison, on the VAR. So I had to bring that up. But it was a great match. I hope we get a triple threat between these three at WrestleMania. and I hope it main events one of the nights. If it doesn't, I will still watch it, but I'll be quietly annoyed about that, because these three could main event night 2 if you give them the chance. Like you said, I'm with you, Shad, and I think these three are better in the ring and performers than the 4 horsewomen, and that's no disrespect to the 4 horsewomen at all. It's respect to them that they did their job well in paving the generation, paving the new way for a new generation. The new generation should always be better than the previous one. Otherwise, you've not done your job as the previous generation. And the fact that we are looking at Bianca, Io, and Rhea Ripley as the kind of the people who are going to succeed the throne of the 4 horsewomen, I think it's incredible for where women's wrestling is, but I think it's a huge credit to the 4 horsewomen. But unfortunately, yeah, I think this generation is better.
No, that's correct. You want to see talent progress through the time. I get what you're saying in regards to that, right? In kayfabe, it does tend to make sense, but I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't hyped to see Io win last night, because man, Io is so damn good. Io Shirai, for what she was doing, obviously in NXT and then Stardom prior to it, like she's just head and shoulders above any other woman I've ever seen wrestle, like in the ring. Like she's just so like, and she don't even, you don't see it in WWE, even because they don't let her go at 100 miles per hour, just because the styles are different. And I don't even know if a lot of people can like step to her in that level, but like she really is. She does stuff so good. And then like you said, man, like Rhea Ripley is arguably one of the more like cooler figures in pro wrestling when you talk about everything as a whole. Like you can't deny it. The woman is damn cool. She looks like an absolute like rock star. She looks like she could be a part of a heavy metal band, and be like a star for that. Not even have to wrestle. So
something fell off last night, and I hope it was. I hope it was almost a sell that she was nervous or whatever. But something, even to her walking in the building and the wrestling, it just fell off. So I like, kayfabe aside, I hope Rhea's okay. So like something just felt weird. Whether it might have been nerves, I don't even know, but just something felt strange the whole night every time I saw her last night. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Sean Ellis, you're tweaking, bro.
Yeah, he's going crazy, man.
Last comments you said. That's wild, bro. But that's
best car crash I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. I make beats saying that Io is the GOAT. LFG, word of that show by the WWE. Legends, futures, and greats. But she is a legend. She was part of the future, and she is a great. But Chaos. What are your thoughts in regards to last night's match, man? Are you happy about the ending with the shocking result? And do you think, because at the moment it's scheduled for Io versus Bianca, do you think that may be the main event, or do you think we're going with the triple threat?
I think it will make sense for the triple threat to happen, and go that route. I mean, she has a rematch clause, I would assume. I doubt Rhea is going to try and cash that in next week, even though that's at MSG. But yeah, I think most likely we're going to get a triple threat, and I'd be fine with that. Obviously, the match, if it was Rhea against Bianca, I think that's just a good enough match on its own. But when it comes to Mania, you need Io on that card, and what better way to include her on that card than to have her like be part of the title picture? I think if she lost and then all of a sudden she's still in the title picture at Mania, it wouldn't really make sense. But this gives her a reason to be on there. So yeah, I think that it was a pleasant shock. I thought, yeah, like whoever was going to face Rhea at Mania, I thought, yeah, like Rhea's going to retain. Whoever it's going to be is going to get squashed. But yeah, no, they've swerved us and trying to get throw us off the prediction scent, so to speak, because like I said, we're so used to that in the previous regime where we can already see where they already setting stuff up from like November, December, leading into Mania. But now they're really like just throwing curveballs, and it's not really for curveball's sake. Most of these curveballs make sense, and you're fine with the outcome. So yeah, I'm not I'm not mad at the win. Io is a great wrestler. She had a decent run with the title when she was the SmackDown champion, and I feel like they're all three of them, especially going with it, adding the wrinkle regarding Jade Cargill and Naomi. Like, what's going to happen with that? Bianca lately has been given heelish vibes regarding this. She said, like, obviously she was crying her eyes out in the pod, and then as soon as she won, it was like everything was fine. Even post show, leading up into the episode of last night, she was all smile and giggles. If you really cared about your friend, you wouldn't really be so happy go lucky. But yeah, so there's something more to that. But who knows? It might even turn into a fatal 4-win, and you might have Cargill enter it somehow. I don't know. There's so many possible routes you can go with this thing, and that's why I love it, man. This is one of the best roads to WrestleMania in recent memory, and I just love it all. So yeah, okay, can't complain.
For sure, and I definitely agree with a lot, especially with the Bianca element, man. Because she's been acting a little sketchy. And they played the little audio of her crying and stuff like that, saying, "Oh, you told her to live." But if you didn't see that, you see her pull her jacket off when Jay comes in, as she's ready to get out the
who do you
bar,
approach though? Who do you approach? Right, so we're a pretty formidable trio now, right? So say all of a sudden I go and I find chaos has been laid out, and then next minute he comes back and he takes you out, Shad, and then who do I text? Like, because I think Shad's. At first I think, oh, chaos, but then I think, oh, actually, hang on, chaos has come out and taken Shad, so I'm not going to text. Like, so I feel like Bianca is in this position where she's like, look, something's gone on between them two. I'm staying out of it, and I understand that.
It's Friday is going to be must watch because Jade returns, and that alone gives me excitement. Because look, man, Jade had one of the best beatdowns I've seen on WWE television in a while. The pump kick she gave to Naomi was absolutely brutal. Oh, we got a difference of opinions though in the comments, and that's why I love Wrestling Republic, because we got the homie Fernando saying Bianca versus taking Bianca and Rhea out of Mania is complete BS. He said, if I click it, most people have been waiting for Bianca versus Rhea for a long time. This title change was a huge mistake. All right, I I rival you and I rebuttal you to this point because I'm on record where I do think they could have had the build to it, and it should be that, right, in the sense where that is the money match, but storyline purpose. Bianca has that dark cloud of the whole Jade Cargill and Naomi situation hovering over her. It's something that you can't just jump out of immediately. So I feel like we can always get to Rhea versus Bianca with a proper build between these two women for Mania, for whenever it may be. Hell, next year, right? We can get to that at some point. I do think it's interesting. I feel like with Hunter, he wants to take care of his people and get his best people on cards. And if EO is not part of that, then you got EO in a makeshift tag team match, right? You got her and Dakota Kai going against Liv and Raquel for the 955 time happening, right? I want to see fresh matchups. Like, even with them being tag team champs, I'm happy, but I want to see them go against someone different. You got the element of, Alexa Bliss in there now. Maybe she finds a tag partner. Maybe her and Nikki Cross, tag together and they go against them. Then you got Roxanne Perez, who got beef with Alexa Bliss, but she also got beef with Bayley. Like, you could make all these storylines fit within somewhat of a card. It's just how you do it instead of like y'all said how it used to be. They used to just put every woman in a tag team showcase match or whatever that was called, right?
It's main event, or you two try and make something work.
Yeah, so I mean they're doing a good job giving us more storylines for women that are not, hovering around the card. And then you got these mid-card belts too. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that is all the time that we have today. It's been a great episode, man. Thank you guys, of course, man. And all of y'all in the comments watching, we appreciate y'all as well. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back same time tomorrow. If you're not doing anything tonight, NXT Off the Air will be happening 15 minutes after NXT is off. So tune into that. It should be a good show. And in the words of Jay Uso, deuces, ooses, we out here. If I can hit the end stream.